Damn, man. Diego Pavia is getting absolutely wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. The poor guy went undrafted. Nobody signed him as an undrafted free agent, and he is getting absolutely wrecked online. Vanderbilt just put this out. Now, for those who don't know, it's after the video I did yesterday. Apparently, Baltimore is bringing them into their mini camp, and fans online had some things to say about that. But then I have a really important question for y'all as well that I think it's tricky because of how some people handle these types of things, but it's interesting as well when we look at the differences in the reactions. Headed to Baltimore, Vanderbilt football put out. And by the way, they should be proud of Diego Pavia and what he's done and what he's done for that program, regardless of how you feel about him or whether or not you think he's an NFL prospect. They put this out invited. This is for Baltimore Ravens camp. But yeah, man, a lot of football fans were not having it. Top 5 landing spots for Diego Pavia in 2026. McDonald's, Burger King, 7-Eleven, janitor, garbage man. Wow. Again, he does have other options other than the NFL if he wants to go make a buck. Although I don't know if he needs it nowadays with NIL. You can basically retire after college for some of these athletes, which is absolutely insane. That's a whole nother topic on whether or not that is ruining college sports. But before we get into this real quick, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. It is the only way YouTube knows to send this out to other people so they can see it as well. I really do appreciate all the support. Notification bell. There's a hype button, I think, for mobile or what have you, as well for newer channels like this one that apparently helps them out even more than a regular like. Anyway, let's get into this because this is the whole thing is this saddest graphic I've ever seen in my life. Fake news. He's headed somewhere else. And there's the McDonald's thing, invited to apply Diego Pavia. And this guy, second in the Heisman Trophy voting. He had a monster year at Vanderbilt. And I think, yeah, like physically, it's not ideal for what the NFL wants. I mean, look, Birds fans, Eagles fans, you know what I'm talking about because we hear in this crap all the time when it comes to Jalen Hurts. The man has been to 5 years as starter. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the other Super Bowl. He's got a Super Bowl MVP. He's been second in MVP in the league. He's got, all the accolades, and we still hear this crap about Jalen Hurts. A lot of people talk about his height. I mean, I just saw some other day with a bunch of clowns, going after Jalen Hurts and talking about how he can't see over the line, and that's why he doesn't throw down the middle and all of that. By the way, that drop pass by AJ Brown right into his hands, 3rd and 5 from the Eagles' own 40 or 45, I can't remember, against the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs, down 23-19. The season is on the line. That's the play you need to make. Right smack over the middle of the field, hit it AJ Brown right in the hands. And my man dropped it. But anyway, my point being, we all still hear it. There are short quarterbacks who can do well in the NFL without a doubt. But this is all day long, man. Did he receive a contract or just a minicam invite? Not drafted. They changed the graphic after a quick week in Baltimore. Back to his day job. Wow, the internet can be brutal. Well, it's good it's minicamp because he's certainly mini. At what position? Since he said he's not going to be a backup. Yeah, well, if he did actually say that, I still haven't seen where that's confirmed, but if he did actually say that, he may have changed his mind considering he went undrafted and then unsigned. Question I have for all of you is, does this give any vibes, not to the way people are acting here, but him not being drafted? Does this give you any Shador Sanders vibes from last year if this whole not wanting to be a backup stuff is true? One of the things we heard, the biggest thing maybe we heard about Shador Sanders and why he plummeted in the draft the 5th round. Now, here's the thing. I don't think he was a 5th round pick. I think you could take a flyer on Shador Sanders earlier than that because of his upside, but I don't think he was a number one overall or a top five pick either. I think it was somewhere in between's a little closer to the truth. Maybe a second or third round pick. Somebody who's, again, upside could be a backup for a long time or could develop and explode and have himself a heck of an NFL career. But do you think that's a little bit of what went on here, or do you think there's too much of a difference that people look? But again, it goes back to those physical tools, right? Because if we're looking at all the numbers and everything, Shador was eighth in MVP in Heisman Trophy voting. 4,100 yards, 74%, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 8.7 yards per attempt, a 168 rating. Diego put up basically the same numbers. Now, he threw 100 passes left, but less. But if you even it out, you add that 100 passes, he threw for 4,100 yards as well. He threw for 29 TDs and only 8 interceptions on 100 fewer passers. Yards per attempt 9.4, right? So it's a little higher. So you throw another 100 passes, that's another almost 1,000 yards, right? So he's throwing for 4,500. His rating was 170.4, so actually higher than Shador Sanders. So yeah, I mean, what is the difference between the two? That is my question to you. What is the difference between the two? Because you had a lot of people screaming that Shador Sanders got ripped off, that it was some sort of collusion. It was about hating his father, Deion Sanders, and putting him in his place. And then some people got into the skin color element of all. But Diego goes undrafted, putting up a season like Shador did in college, and everybody is trashing him, basically saying he's not anywhere near an NFL quarterback. I just think it's kind of interesting dynamic between the two, and I'm curious what y'all think in the comments below. I guess the Ravens can use Diego Pavia like Taysom Hill. You know what? If Pavia was someone who was okay with that for, hey, this is how I get to stay in the NFL, I can actually see that. That's actually maybe the most constructive comment on here. For anyone who's curious, yes, there it is. Mini camp, right? For Baltimore Ravens. He was invited to a mini camp. They didn't offer him a job. Yeah, no kidding. It's still a big deal, man. Not a lot of guys go from college to the pros in any sport. Funny, he's the Lamar Mirror for practice, aka cannon fodder for the defense. Hope he has a good health insurance mini camp, and then they're trashing him there. He got invited, headed to Baltimore, is way different. Dude's a F stick and not a good athlete. I mean, that's tough to say my man's not a good athlete. I mean, and I talk about this because I think it's absolutely fascinating. I don't, I'm not a Diego Pavia fan, but I don't really dislike him either. I don't really have an opinion either way. So I'm trying to look at it from a football perspective and wondering if it's like, did he bomb the interviews, and is it just a physical thing where they look at him and he doesn't look like a prototypical NFL quarterback? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate it as always. Do me a quick favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you later.